here's the thing. For everybody listening, don't make the same mistake the Bengals just did in any facet of your life.
People are going to get hurt. It's the hockey season. And if they want to make the deep run to the playoffs, they're going to need players. And Ben Hutton's a good defenseman that can help.
I don't think they will. If they don't have Anthony Davis, I'm saying it right now. If Anthony Davis is out for the playoffs, they don't make it out of the first round.
I was very tempted to just put defense.
What about the Jared Cook play on the sideline? And then Mason Crosby's 55-yard field goal or something like that. That was a good one.
Come on, Austin and I have been saying this ever since Joe Burrow got injured.
I just do not see Harden putting in the same amount of effort into each game. And I honestly believe that's why he hasn't won a championship yet.
That's a perfect name. What you said, name brand players. Like, it's not the great value Target brand toilet paper or whatever. It's the Charmin Ultra Strong.
I swear we didn't script that.
Fultz is injured, and he really hasn't lived up to the potential of being the number one overall pick when he was selected by the Sixers.
Like you said, Ovechkin, he's getting older. He hasn't been playing as well as I imagined. He's one of the greatest goal scorers of all time, but he hasn't started off this season as hot as I would hope.
How is Joe Burrow going to get the ball to them if his butt is already on the ground and he finally decides who to throw to?
I don't really think the Dodgers are going to make the World Series this year. I feel like they'll make it to the NLCS.
And then I want to talk about the Fernando Tatis extension, because that really surprised me. Because he's so young. You see the Chiefs beefing up their O-line, and then you have the Buccaneers beefing up their defensive line.
Ingrained in the life of Tom Brady and what winning actually looks like, I think will be a very good move for Bruce Arians and this Bucs organization.
Hi, I'm Jeff Allen, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week for November 26th. Let's talk about the Thanksgiving. As if you didn't listen, you should check out our Thanksgiving episode. We talked about players we are thankful for and named our top 5 foods to have on our Thanksgiving plate. I followed that list, and I'm sure you did too, Austin. It was a very good meal. Saved me from having a pretty average Thanksgiving since the Cowboys lost. But those games, I really like having the Lions and Cowboys. That's an annual thing, and I would have hoped the MLB followed that with like the Field of Dreams game, because I think it would just the White Sox, but they didn't. They made it the Cubs and Reds, and to me that goes against the main part of the movie where it's White Sox and Yankees. So, and it's about the White Sox, but we can talk about this in the MLB, but it's a pain seeing the Lions on Thanksgiving most of the time, even though it was a close game with the Bears.
Yeah, at least it was close, unlike the Bills game, which was, I turned it off at halftime. I was not feeling the game, and it was just not close at all.
Yeah. It should have been close. Probably if you have Jameis Winston at quarterback with the Saints, it's probably a better game.
Kamara was also out, so.
Oh, yeah.
It was, and Thomas is obviously out, so everybody on the Saints was like, I'm out, so.
Yeah, so that was also a bad game to watch. But let's move on. Speaking of playoffs, the NFC seed, it was 7th seed. It looks like the Saints are still in it. And the 7th seed right now in the NFC is Washington, Minnesota, Atlanta, and then New Orleans Saints. And then you have the Eagles, Panthers, all with 5 wins. And then we go over to the AFC, and currently it is the LA Chargers, but then people or teams that can move in are the Broncos, Raiders, Colts, Browns, Steelers, and Dolphins. What are your thoughts on this 7th seed?
It's crazy. This has been the closest I've seen in a while, where there's so many teams that have the same amount of wins. I think a lot of us thought the Broncos were going to be out before this point, including myself, and they're not. They're right there, and they beat the Chargers their last game. So it's going to get very interesting at the end of the year, and with an extra game, it just adds to the intensity.
Yeah, that is a good point, and the 7th seed this season is really important because, like we talked about, or like I've said, whoever gets into the playoffs has a legitimate shot because there is no dominant force, especially in the AFC. NFC, you can argue Bucks, because you have Tom Brady and Gronk is getting healthy.
Well,
They should be favorites.
yeah, same with a fully healthy Packers team. Even though we haven't seen a fully healthy Packers team since like week 2, we
Well,
haven't.
you won't have a fully healthy Packers team
We'll get
because
Alexander
Rodgers.
back.
No, but I'm
Well,
talking about Rodgers. Rodgers with his hurt toe.
he ran for a touchdown with a broken toe. I think he's fine. I he outran Jim and Ramsey to the corner, so he'll be fine.
Okay. I still have reservations about the Packers. That's why I don't. I think the Bucks are the only team.
What are your reservations about the Packers? What is your issue?
They just looked off. They've looked off to me whenever
Because
I've seen
everybody's
them.
out. They have no consistency when it comes to players. If everyone's back healthy, they're the only team that stands a chance versus a fully healthy Bucks.
That's true. That's true. I don't know what's happened to the Rams. They just maybe you can correlate it to OBJ.
No, because they lost the week before they got OBJ.
But OBJ hasn't helped.
He scored that big touchdown or long touchdown against the Packers, but I mean the Packers were dominating that game from the get go, and then the Rams made it close at the end, but it was way too little, too late.
Yeah, so that's something. I don't know. I think I put Bucks and then Packers are just a little bit below Bucks. But they're the only team I think that I could see beating the Bucks. But I think a 7th seed facing the number 2 seed in the NFC definitely has a chance unless the Packers are the number 2 seed. So I don't think the 7th seed would do well.
It just depends on health.
Yeah, it's true. But so AFC, it's definitely like I could see the Chargers maybe pulling the upset as the 2nd seed right now is the New England Patriots.
I'm making this prediction right now. They're going to be the 1 seed. They're going to be the
Patriots?
1 seed, and I'm making a prediction now that goes against what I said. I think it's going to be a Patriots Bucks Super Bowl, and it'll be the most watched Super Bowl in NFL history.
I could see the Patriots doing it because the Patriots have just ever since that Cowboys loss, they've turned it on.
Well, even in the Cowboys game, there were some unlucky plays in there. They could have beat the Cowboys. It was really close.
It was close, but they lost, and it was a good one. And then so if they go to the 1 seed, then you face the Ravens. But the 7th seed, like Colts, if Carson Wentz just doesn't turn over the ball, Colts could be a scary team. Raiders, I don't have that much faith in. Broncos, but Chargers to me are a scary team.
I think Broncos, if they get some consistency, they could be scary. They put up a lot of points on some teams, and sometimes they just don't score.
Yeah, that's true. It's just weird with them not having Von Miller.
Yeah, they've actually won all of their games since they lost Von Miller.
That's true.
I think.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. I think
that's
there
a
were
weird trade.
Very weird. Very, very weird.
So
it's crazy because he was like, "Oh, I woke up on a 7 and what was it, 2 team or 7-3 team, and now they've lost 3 straight.
Yeah,
since they got Von Miller, and now the Rams are they're half. The Rams are 7-4, right?
yes, they were 7-4.
Yes, I thought. So, yeah, he went from a 7-4 team to now the Broncos are 6-5. So, is he on the better team? I don't know. It's not looking like it right now because the Rams cannot buy a win.
And the Rams are basically fighting for a wild card team because I don't see the Cardinals slowing down as they're 9-2. So
I don't see them slowing down enough for them to get the division lead.
Yeah, so that you're just fighting for a wild card spot, which when you make those trades, I think they're trying to get you're always trying to get the 1, but realistically, I think when you trade for Von Miller and you sign OBJ, you have a feeling, okay, we're going to go get the 1 seed and therefore take the division, but that really hasn't turned out well. So I think now we can move on to which teams are out. and then which teams are, if they don't win this week, they're officially out in our opinions. We call them out. I'll go with the AFC as it's
Which teams
pretty
are out?
easy.
Let's just go with teams that
Yeah,
are
which
out right
teams are
now.
out? Which teams are out? And then we'll go into which teams need to win so they don't join the teams that are already out. So it's AFC's pretty easy. The Jaguars, Texans, Jets. Those are teams I view as out.
I can agree with that 100%. I was close to putting Dolphins there, but I trust that if this team can get it going, they're a scary team, and that was proven last year. Now to the NFC, teams that I think are out. This may be a little bit shocking. I'm going to go a little bit more risky here. Obviously, Lions, Seahawks. I'm going to go Giants, Panthers. I think the Bears still have a chance because of the defense. We've seen the defense get hot for stretches, and they can still make a push. Last week was a much-needed win, but they're definitely going to be a team on our next thing that I definitely feel like needs to win. What about
So
you?
are you calling the Panthers pick or as ruling them out risky?
Yes.
Okay.
I do think that, yes, I think that's risky considering the fact that they may, in fact, prove me wrong.
That's true. That's what I would see. But they are without McCaffrey for the rest of the season because they placed him on IR.
That's true. But I have them as out. But I don't have, like I said, Bears out. I don't have Eagles out. And then all the teams that are literally tied with wins, I don't have out besides Panthers.
I think I would swap Panthers. I would call the Bears out.
Why?
To me, I don't like what they're doing on offense. I think there's also like that quarterback, the constant changing of quarterbacks. I know
Well,
Fields has been injured, but
yeah, I was
like
about to
now
say that's
Dalton's
because of
has
injury.
won. Has won. If Field comes back, are they going to put Fields in over Dalton? I think that kind of keeps him out of it for me. And Khalil Mack is still out, and I know they did beat the Lions, but I just don't like this Bears team. I think it's time to clean slate, which
Their defense is too good to clean slate because then you're going to be rebuilding for the rest of your life.
well, I'm not saying I meant clean slate as coach and GM, but like keep the players. And I know that's a risky thing, especially in Justin Fields' second year. But seeing Matt Nagy being the head coach and being the offensive play caller, I think it would be the right move to get a better offensive mind than Nagy into this Bears team. But I don't see them going with Bieniemy. I see them maybe going with. I think they would take a shot at Kellen Moore. I don't think that happens. Maybe like Brian DeBall from the Bills, and that's pretty much who I see them going after. But I just don't feel confident in this Bears team. But Panthers, I do believe in Matt Rule and what he can build, even though they're weird at quarterback. So I think the head coaching is probably what switches them for me.
Interesting. I just think there's too many players out for the Panthers.
That's a good point. Yeah, when you're missing McCaffrey and then your quarterback is Cam Newton, as I think they're still waiting on. No, they benched
No, I think Darnold's still hurt.
Darnold?
Darnold's hurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. But the Seahawks, I can't believe we're calling them out already. But
They are.
They are.
They
It's
can't
just-
win.
Yeah, that's maybe they do fire Pete Carroll or just new team.
I think that prediction I made was. It may come in to be right because they are not looking too good.
Also, when you fire Carroll, I say you fire your GM as well for the Seahawks. They just have not built well around Wilson. And you looking at that Jamal Adams trade, that
Oh, it is worst trade of all time category because that pick goes to the Jets, and the Jets are about to have 2 top 5 picks.
they're also not the only team. Have you seen the NFL draft order right now?
Yeah, the Jets. Oh well, the Seahawks. The Jets are 4 and the Seahawks are 5. So like I said,
Yes, but also Eagles have like 6 and 7.
if they, yes, if they stay in the same spot, yeah.
Yeah, let me find this. So it is Jets 4 and 5, Giants 6 and 7, Eagles 8 and 9.
Why did so explain why
Okay,
is the
so
Giants?
Giants 6 is their own, but the 7th is the Chicago pick that they traded up to get Justin Fields.
Wow. And
And
then
then
for
8 is
Eagles,
Philadelphia, and then number 9 is Miami. But Miami traded up with the Eagles for number 6. No, it's number 6. And they
Waddle.
selected Jalen Waddle because they were at 3, traded down to 12, then
And then
traded
up
back up into 6.
Yeah.
So that first round pick is 9. And then Philadelphia gets another first round pick at pick number 14 because of the Carson Wentz pick.
Oh, wow.
So,
A lot of craziness. The Eagles could get good fast.
well, let's not wish that upon them. Let's just see them like trade up for a QB again. Even though like they have Hurts, just like trade up for a QB and cause
I don't.
chaos.
I know you're hoping for something like that to happen, but I don't necessarily know.
We'll see. So now, speaking of the Eagles, we did not rule them out. Are they on their last life?
No, I don't. I'm not. I don't have enough confidence in the Cowboys right now after that 20 billion penalties against the Raiders to secure the division. I don't know what is going to happen, but it's going to be a tough game this week. So
It is going to be a tough game, but we can get into it now. I think Dan Quinn is named the interim head coach, and we were talking about possible head coaching candidates. This game, even though I think it would be early to hire Quinn 1 year after being a defensive coordinator, and that's part of me being selfish because I like him as our defensive coordinator, I think we could see him getting signed somewhere, depending on how well he does this game. Cowboys hopefully get Amari Cooper. You were talking about the Packers being injured. Cowboys are injured, and having Amari Cooper and CD Lamb out for the Cowboys really hurts them.
yeah, the only difference I see with the Packers is it's both sides of the ball.
The Cowboys have been without our best pass rusher since week 2.
Well, we even without our best pass rusher and our best corner. The Darius Smith's been out and Jair Alexander. So it's like if Trayvon was out for you guys and
Yeah. But DeMarcus Lawrence
Marcus
is
Lawrence,
supposed to come back this Thursday, and that would be a great boost. As then Micah Parsons can rush, and then once we get Randy Gregory back. So I am not going to rule out the Eagles on their last life, but it's not because of the NFC East, because I see the Cowboys getting that. I kind of see, when I look at this 7th seed, it seems wide open, and not like the Falcons are in it, the Saints are in it, Washington's in it, another division opponent. So I think the team on their last life to me would be the Falcons and Saints.
I would say Saints before I said Falcons because the Falcons are a very hot and cold team, and they could lose next week and then win all the rest of their games. I don't really know what to expect from the Falcons. Cordero Patterson has carried them this entire season on offense, and I don't know really what to expect from them. But I could agree with Saints. For me, it'd be Saints, Bears, and that is it for the NFC. Next week, if the Falcons lose, they can't lose the next week. They can't. And then if we go over to the AFC really quickly, I would have Dolphins, Steelers, and Colts all on their last leg because you can't continue to lose if you're the Colts because you go below 500 in the 7th seed in the AFC. I'm predicting will not be below 500. I don't even think they'll be within one game of below 500. I think it'll be 10 and 7 will be the AFC 7th seed.
I'm not going to put the Steelers on their last life, but I do agree with Colts and Dolphins. And now I think I'll put Broncos. Well,
They're 6-5 though. If
I
they lose
know,
their
but
no,
yeah, I don't think I can do that. I think that's just because I don't want to recognize that they're good because that loss to the Cowboys still hurts. But I'm not ruling out the Steelers because of head coaching. Like Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season.
Well, like I said, I don't predict a losing season from him. I'm just saying that I don't think they're. I think 10-7 is where the AFC 7th seed is going to be, and I don't think they reach 10-7.
I don't really know what to think about like the record for the 7th seed, but I just want to. I don't want to call them close to being out. I think they're still in the middle of it, even with a loss next season, the next week. I think Mike Tomlin could find a way to pull it out, and be right in there near the end of the season.
That would be impressive if that happened.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin is very great head coach.
He is. I would probably say the second best coach in the NFL, behind Belichick.
Really, I think I might put Reed at number 2, then Tomlin. Because if you look at Reed and Andy Reid,
Tomlin's won. Tomlin has had more consistent success. Reed was
that's true.
struggling with the Eagles when he left. Then with Kansas City, he could never really get it together, and he's only won one. If Reed were to win another one and prove that it wasn't a one-off, I would have a lot more confidence. But they were destroyed in the Super Bowl. Wasn't even close. And unlike the Packers Super Bowl versus Steelers with Tomlin, where it was a one-score game for almost the entire game.
But I was going to talk about with Reed 2 times now. The Chiefs were 1-5 this season. Or no, they weren't 1-5, but they had 5 losses. When I called them out, I was like, "There's no way they flip on the switch." It looks like they're starting to get in. They're in the playoff picture. They're leading their division. I believe the second time the Chiefs did this was in, I want to say 2014. When they were really out of it. And I can't remember if they made the playoffs. Let me look at playoffs. So that's why I would put Reed at number 2, because of him being able to bring his teams, especially the Chiefs, out of a deep hole and somehow make the playoffs. What do you think about that?
I would still have Tomlin.
Okay.
I think Tomlin's very impressive. I feel like he doesn't get enough credit for what he does for the Steelers. He makes the Steelers, in my opinion, look better than they are.
That's true. That's very true. Because the Steelers, in my opinion, have a big problem at quarterback with Ben Roethlisberger.
I don't think that's really the issue because he hasn't thrown many picks except for last week. It's more of just everything around the Steelers. It doesn't that team would fall apart without Tomlin. I feel like there's way too many. Like Claypool has a personality.
Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, Tomlin. I give a lot of props for Tomlin being able to control that locker room because I feel like that's one of the hardest to control in the NFL.
Yeah, and some he's had to deal with, and for a lot of his time at Pittsburgh, before you go to Claypool or Schuster,
With
you
Bell,
can go to
Antonio
Bell,
Brown. Yeah.
And I also think like Roethlisberger, I think he's no longer in his prime, but maybe you could hide some of the throws he can't make or shouldn't make with a better offensive game plan, because the offense to me just looks, I know they retooled their offensive line, but I think they're missing an offensive identity. I think they're struggling to decide, do we become a run first team and then rely on our defense, or do we still ride with Big Ben?
They just struggled on offense in all aspects during some games, and it's really costed them some wins.
But the Colts, to me, I think we agree on Colts and the Dolphins. And then those are the 2 teams I would rule out or last life. Because the Dolphins, to me, they need to get on they need to get some momentum. Like, they don't have to go on an incredible win streak, but maybe string 2 wins together. But if you just get a loss now, I think that really hurts them. And then with the Colts, Frank Reich has pulled them out of a hole, but that's when he had a better quarterback with Andrew Luck. Like, Carson Wentz is still trying to get back to where he was in 2017. He is better than what he was last season, but I think if they lose, they're pretty much out of it, especially as I think it'd be tough to beat the Titans again, or to take the lead from the Titans in their division.
Yeah, I just don't see that happening. And the reason, again, why I think the Dolphins are out if they lose this upcoming week is, like I said, my prediction right now is that the 7 seed will be 10-7, and what's their record? 5-7. So they're on their last life because I don't think they have enough games left to do anything significant if they do lose.
And that concludes our NFL opinions of the week for November 26th. Let us know what you thought, and make sure to tweet us at OutsidersPod21. And thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.